UFC Fight Night Dern versus Jan full card prediction. We got the main event, Donkey Face Mackenzie Dern taking on Yan Xiaonan. And before we get into the predictions, what are the betting odds on that main event? I'm going to say it right now. Mackenzie Dern is at minus 225 right now over Yan Xiaonan. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to be dead honest with you. That makes like no sense to me right now. I mean, Yan Xiaonan is a legit striker, and the only time she was able to go out there and kind of get taken down and dominated on the floor was Carla Esparza. That was it. She was able to keep the striking super even with Marina Rodriguez, and overall able to make it a striking fight in every other fight besides Carla Esparza, who is a very solid wrestler. So again, before we get into the predictions, I just had to point out the odds right there. But now that you're here, now that you're done letting me ramble about the main event, make sure you go down and subscribe to the channel. Everyone that watches MMA predictions, MMA news, whatever the case may be, we post videos pretty much every single day. So go down and subscribe and make sure to comment your full card predictions down below as well. But yeah, you guys know what the card is. You can look it up on Google. So, yeah, we'll just get into the first one in the strawweight division. Jessica Penne and Tabatha Ricci in the women's strawweight division. We're going to make this short. We're going to make this sweet. Tabatha Ricci, good jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, not as tall, not as lengthy, so she's going to have to close that distance and land the takedowns. Penne will land a jab or two on the feet. Penne will get taken down plenty of times throughout this fight. Her back will be taken. Ricci will be close to a submission, but, she's not going to get it. Just like Lupita Godinez did, she's just going to go out there and take down Jessica Penne throughout this fight fairly easily, stay on top, and control her. And on the feet, she's just going to be pressuring forward, landing some big shots, but I think that grappling and wrestling of Tabatha Ricci will get her the win by a unanimous decision. Few people go in submission there, but, Jessica Penne's got some good submission defense. She's never been submitted except for that armbar against Michelle Waterson Gomez. I don't know why she's added that to her name, but I'm going to go Ricci by decision. Aleksei Oleinik and Ilir Latifi. I'm going to say it right now. This fight has been made way too many times. Canceled, rescheduled, canceled, and rescheduled, and every single time I go with the same guy. Ilir Latifi, that is my prediction here. I think he's the slightly better striker. He doesn't really throw much of anything on the feet, but Aleksei Oleinik is just so wild on the feet, to be honest with you. So, Ilir Latifi should be the better striker here, but again, there's that possibility that Aleksei just starts throwing weird, whooping shots, and that can land on Ilir Latifi and win. But I think Ilir Latifi kind of has the path to victory here, where he can make the fight go wherever he wants. If he wants this fight to be a wrestling match, he can make it a wrestling match. If he wants it to be a striking match, he can be a striking match. So even if Ilir Latifi does not have the striking advantage here, he can take down Aleksei Oleinik, defend the submissions, and beat him on the ground. I don't see him finishing him. If Sergey Spivak is not able to go out there and finish Aleksei Oleinik, come on, Ilir Latifi is not going to be able to. Ilir Latifi by a decision. Maxim Grishin and Phillipe Lins in the light heavyweight division, 37 and 38. Some, aging fighters in the light heavyweight division. One with a lot of experience, but it's going to be interesting because I think Phillipe is a slightly bigger guy. He's going to have the better grappling, the better wrestling, so the betting odds kind of have it right. Having Maxim Grishin as a slight favorite here, but Phillipe is a live underdog. 88% of the vote should not be going to Grishin on this one because Lins, as we saw in the last fight with Marcin Paragno, if he can get the fight to the ground, get on top of his opponents, he can kind of do what Rodrigo Nascimento did on Saturday and just holds for 3 straight rounds and win a decision. That's a possibility, but I think Maxim Grishin is going to have the far better striker. Knocked out Vladimir Avantagula, beat William Knight on the feet, hurt him a few times as well. And, I think he goes out there, outstrikes Phillipe Lins for the win in that one. Joaquim Silva and Jesse Ronson in the lightweight division. Sorry about that. I'm going to say it right now. Jesse Ronson and Joaquim Silva are very low level for this lightweight division. They should not be in the UFC, neither guy, if I'm being dead honest with you. Jesse has 0 wins in the UFC, was coming off of 2 losses out of the UFC, got 1 win, and was in the UFC. He does not deserve to be here. Now, Joaquim kind of deserves to be here. He lost to Vince Pichel, Nasrat Haqparast, and Ricky Glenn, but he beat Jared Gordon somehow in the midst of that, knocked him out in round number 3, so he sort of has a case to be inside of this lightweight division, but I'm still going to go Joaquim Silva to win this one. The striking is going to be pretty even. Jesse's going to be coming forward, looking to get Joaquim's back to the cage and knock him out like Nasrat was able to do, like Ricky Glenn was able to do with that flurry of punches, like Tapology is saying. But I think Joaquim is going to have the harder punches, and he'll be able to mix in the takedowns and the jiu-jitsu, possibly get a submission on the ground on Jesse Ronson. I'm saying second round submission or decision for Joaquim Silva. Jairzinho, Rozenstruik, and Krzysztof is no longer on the card. UFC Fight Night, Dern versus Jan is no more. It just got moved to UFC 282. But just for fun, if you wanted the prediction, I'll give it to you. Jairzinho, Rozenstruik. By second round TKO, I think he's going to turn from a Tyron Woodley to a gosh dang, what's the dude on the Contender Series? I don't know. He's going to throw his hands a little bit more in this fight, is my opinion. And I think he hits harder than Krzysztof does in his fights. I think he knocks him out round number 2. But again, that fight's not happening. It's on UFC 282. Julija, Stoliarenko, and Chelsea Chandler in the bantamweight division. 2 outcomes here. Chelsea Chandler grinds, uses her size, uses her wrestling, gets on top, and controls for a unanimous decision. Alright, there's one outcome. The other outcome is Julija accepts getting taken down and immediately off her back goes for an armbar, goes for a triangle, goes for some sort of submission, and boom, rips the arm of Chelsea Chandler off in round number 1 and submits her. Those are the only 2 things that can happen here. Chelsea by decision, because the girl only has 2 finishes, and they were 2 years ago and 3 years ago against non-UFC caliber fighters. And again, Julija Stoliarenko only got finished by Julia Avila, didn't by Yana Kunitskaya, didn't by Alexis Davis. So again, Chelsea should go out there and grind her way to a decision, but am I confident? No, hell no. Julija got the armbar, so you never know. Could be an armbar by Julija, could be a dominant decision by Chelsea. I'll go dominant decision for Chelsea Chandler. Krzysztof, Jotko, and Brendan Allen in the middleweight division. Alright, so striking, definitely going to go Krzysztof Jotko, in my opinion. Brendan, he gets hurt in a lot of his fights. Got knocked out by Chris Curtis. Got rocked against Sam Alvey when they fought as well. And I honestly just don't like the chin of Brendan Allen. I'm going to be dead honest with you. And I don't think his grappling and wrestling is something that's going to go out there and control Krzysztof Jotko on the ground. Krzysztof lost to Sean Strickland in a 3-round decision where they were just striking for 3 rounds. I don't think Brendan can do that for 3. He does have some good kicks to the body and things like that, but I think Jotko is going to be landing more shots with his hands, keeping the volume even, but landing some hard shots with the 1-2s and counter punches on Brendan Allen here. Brendan will be shooting for some takedowns, but I think Jotko is a slightly better striker. We'll give it to him in a close 29-28 controversial decision. Randy Costa and Guido Canneti in the bantamweight division, KO or TKO, round 1 or round number 2. It's either a TKO round 2 for Guido Canneti or a KO TKO round 1 for Randy Costa. Both guys don't really have the best chins. I mean, Guido Canneti went out there, got freaking absolutely starched by Dana Bacharil, survived against Mana Martinez somehow, and then he knocked out Chris Moutinho. I don't know how. I mean, knocked out Chris Moutinho. He's 42 years of age, very old, not as tall, not as lengthy, more technical than Randy, but Randy does hit a lot harder, and again, he's taller, lengthier, and younger. Again, he lays it all on the line round number 1. Did very good against Adrian Yanez round number 1. Then got knocked out. Did very good against Tony Kelly round number 1. Then got knocked out. Did very good against Brandon Davis round 1. Then got submitted. I mean, you can see what I'm saying right here. Journey Newsome, Boston Salmon got some good first round TKOs in those fights. But once he gasses out, you never know. So these 82% going Costa, they need to look at his last 2 fights, because the man just might gas out in this next one with Guido Canneti and lose in round 2, round 3, just like Guido was able to knock out Chris Moutinho in round 2. So we shall see. I'm going to lean Randy Costa, round 1 TKO. But heck no am I confident on this one. Randy's a 3-1 favorite. No. No, he should not be that big of a favorite, but I'll go Randy Costa by TKO. Mike Davis and Viecheslav Borshchev. In the lightweight division, age pretty similar, height pretty similar. Reach is going to go for Mike Davis. And Mike is going to have a slightly better record, a few more fights than Viecheslav, beating Thomas Gifford inside the UFC, Mason Jones, only losing to Gilbert Burns, while also fighting the man, the myth, the legend, Sodiq Yusuff on the Contender Series a few years before that. I would say, well, obviously, Viecheslav Borshchev is going to be the better striker. Went out there, knocked out Chris Duncan, knocked out Dakota Bush, knocked out Kendi St. Louis, knocked out pretty much everyone on the regional scene. He's got power in his hands, he got power in his kicks, but Mike, he knows what he has to do. He knows he has to make this gritty. He knows he has to make this a grinding, wrestling and grappling type of fight, just like Mark Diakiese. Mark Diakinamagomedov was able to go out there, land many takedowns in that fight. Mike should do the same and edge out a decision. Sodiq Yusuff and Don Shainis in the featherweight division. Sodiq, better striker, more technical, not taking the fight on short notice, not stepping in to fight a completely different opponent right here in Sodiq Yusuff. Sodiq is taller, Sodiq is lengthier, Sodiq is younger, Sodiq has fought the much better competition, only losing to Arnold Allen inside of the UFC. Don is good. He's got a lot of TKO wins on the regional scene. Very gritty, very grindy, very grimy, likes to do it very dirty and make the fight a very fun one in the later rounds and look to wear his opponents down and beat them the later on as the fight goes. But, Sodiq should win. Round 1 should win. Round 2 should win. Round 3 outstriking Don Shainis in the fight. Don has never been TKO'd in his UFC or in his MMA career. Only a doctor stoppage against Jeremy Davis right there, and that doesn't really count as a TKO in my book, because he would have continued without the doctor there, but I'm going to go Sodiq Yusuff, outstriking the guy that just does not get TKO'd, and winning that one by a decision. It's Raoni Barcelos and Trevin Jones. I'm going to go Raoni Barcelos here. He is a little bit older, yes, but I think he's going to go out there, put on the pressure onto Trevin Jones. Trevin, who's very gun-shy, doesn't like to let his hands go too much, as we saw in the Javid Basharat fight. Not going to be landing too many shots in the feet. I think Raoni is going to land more shots in the feet. He's a slightly faster puncher as well. Good leg kicks as well. And I think the takedowns and the wrestling should be even. So if Raoni wants to mix in the takedowns, mix in the wrestling, he could. But I think Raoni could just outstrike him on the feet either way. So striking, wrestling, grappling, I think Raoni has the advantage everywhere. And I think he gets the win by a decision. John Castaneda and Daniel Santos. I'm going to go John Castaneda to win this fight. He is a little bit older, does not really matter to me, but he's going to be a little bit lengthier than Daniel Santos. He's going to come forward, put on the pressure, get Daniel Santos back to the cage. Daniel is going to be looking for something crazy, a spinning kick, a spinning elbow, a spinning back fist, just looking for a head kick, front kick. I mean, he's going to look for something crazy to get a TKO here against John Castaneda, but John is good. He's not going to get TKO'd here. He's going to put on the pressure on Daniel Santos, get his back to the cage, land some big shots, and then he's going to take down Daniel Santos. Daniel is nowhere near as good of a wrestler and grappler as John Castaneda is. So I think John will just go out there, make this a wrestling and grappling type of fight, and destroy him on the ground, winning this fight by a unanimous decision. Randy Brown and Francisco Trinaldo in the welterweight division. Now, I can make this easy. I can make this very easy and say Randy Brown by unanimous decision. Randy Brown by TKO. He's taller. He's lengthier. He's a heck of a lot younger. He's the better striker. He's got solid takedown defense. It would be so easy for me to just say, well, Randy Brown should easily win this fight. But, I don't know if it's that simple. Francisco Trinaldo has shown he has power in his hands, knocking out Jai Herbert in round 1 or round 2, if I remember. Beat Danny Roberts recently, where he rocked him in that fight. Beat Dwight Grant, where he's able to land some takedowns there. So he's got the power to land a fluke KO on Randy Brown. He's got the wrestling to go out there, possibly grind out a decision. So this is not a confident pick, I'll tell you that. This is not a confident pick. I will definitely say that for this one in the welterweight division, but I'm going to go Randy Brown anyway. He's taller, he's lengthier, he's younger, he's the much better striker. He'll stay on the outside and just pick apart Francisco Trinaldo. He'll make this look easy. But again, I worry about Francisco landing something huge. I worry about Francisco landing a takedown here and grinding, making this a boring, stay on top, little tap shots for 3 rounds. But I doubt it. Randy Brown wins that fight. Mackenzie Dern and Yan Xiaonan Yan in the strawweight division. The second Chinese main event fighter in a row inside of the UFC, this time for the women. And Yan is going to be 33 years old, a little bit older. Height and reach pretty even. Wrestling, honestly, wrestling is going to be pretty even, to be quite honest with you, because Mackenzie Dern, well, her wrestling is non-existent. But her grappling is a lot better. Yan Xiaonan's striking is a lot better. Almost beat Marina Rodriguez in their fight, which was a 3-round striking fight. So I'm definitely giving Yan Xiaonan the striking advantage. Definitely giving Mackenzie Dern the jiu-jitsu advantage here. I think Mackenzie's going to be pressuring forward here. But there will be moments where Yan Xiaonan will be pressuring forward. Maybe if she cuts open Mackenzie. Maybe if she hurts Mackenzie on the feet. But I think Mackenzie will be looking to come forward, get to the clinch, look to get a trip takedown, a judo throw type of takedown, or do the takedown I really, really like from Andre Muniz and just get the fight to the clinch, get the double underhooks, get to the side of your opponent, and just hop over to the back of Yan Xiaonan. I can see Mackenzie Dern having some success there, but it's an even one. If Yan Xiaonan's able to defend the takedown, she'll win the fight by decision. If Mackenzie Dern is able to get the takedown or get the fight to the mat, she could definitely get that submission, and she could just grind and stay on top, use her submissions to beat Yan Xiaonan like she was able to do against Tecia Torres. It's a tough one. It's a 50-50 in my opinion, to be honest. I'm going to go Mackenzie Dern to win this one by a 48-47 decision, keeping the striking as even as possible and then mixing in the takedown midway through a few of these rounds, going for a submission but not being successful. Dern by decision. Alright, those are the predictions. I got Dern, I got Brown, Castaneda, Barcelos, Yusuff, Mike Davis, Randy Costa, Krzysztof, Jotko, Chelsea, Chandler, Rozenstruik, but that one's on UFC 282, Joaquim, Silva, Maxim, Grishin, Ilir, Latifi, and Tabatha. The underdogs that I see having a very good shot of winning. Phillipe Lins, Jesse Ronson, I think both are pretty 50-50 fights. There's no underdog for that one, so I guess I can't say that. Guido Canneti has a very, very good shot. Anyone else? Francisco Trinaldo and Yan Xiaonan, those are all very, very live dogs. But those are the predictions. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe if you're an MMA fan. That's it. We'll see you in the next one.